Okay, everyone, in this lecture video, what we're going to be doing is introducing the muscular system, or the skeletal muscular system. So the whole focus of this video is just really to talk about the main function of the skeletal muscular system and what it does for us as an organ system. Okay, so the muscular system that we're referring to is referring to the skeletal muscular system, which doesn't encompass all of the muscles inside of the human body. Okay, this system is really what's functioning in terms of motion, right? The idea that we're using it to help move our bones to get us to go from point A to point B or to do some particular action. Okay, so when we're talking about the muscular system, we're going to specifically focus on skeletal muscles. Okay, with the skeletal muscles, essentially what we're talking about is those muscles that are made of skeletal muscle tissue, right, which is unique type within that skeletal muscle tissue type, right? So remember, we talked about epithelial, connective nervous, and then we have our muscle tissue, right? And this particular muscle tissue with connective, that functions with connective nervous and epithelial tissues to create this organ that is a skeletal muscle. Okay? So skeletal muscles are unique in that they are yes, they are an organ because, again, you have multiple different tissue types that come together for a particular function. You have skeletal muscle, which is voluntary. It's different than their other types of muscle, cardiac and smooth muscle, because we can actually control it, right? We can consciously think about, having to do a particular type of motion, right, in order to get something done, right, because they are voluntary. We can actually make them happen. Okay. So let's talk about the functions of the skeletal muscles. So functionally, the skeletal muscles, like any other organ system, are going to do something for the body. So probably the main function of the skeletal system that we are thinking of is the production of motion, right? So it allows us to move the skeleton. So essentially what happens here is that muscles contract and muscles pull on tendons and ligaments, right, which allow or pull on tendons, which then move bones that are attached together at ligaments. So it's allowing us to actually move the different parts of our skeletal system. Okay. So that's probably its most famous main function. All right. Another relevant function of the skeletal system is that it actually helps us maintain body posture and position. Okay, is a lot of the muscles that are inside of the body that are our skeletal muscles are actually in some level of continuous contraction, right? That your muscles, if they were all fully relaxed all at once, your body would just be like, you would not be able to move. You would just be a floppy mess. But because you're maintaining posture and body position, right, even just standing up, you have some level of muscle contraction. It's allowing you to maintain that. So without that constant ability to contract, right, you wouldn't be able to sit up or stand or control any of your other motions. So there are several different neurological disorders and muscular disorders like muscular dystrophy and things like that cause issues with the contraction of the muscles. Either they start to lose tone or they're not receiving signals to carry on this continuous contraction, and those individuals start losing control of their body posture and relative position. Okay, so there are instances where there are different disorders that can lead to some kind of misfortune in terms of function there. Okay. Another function of your skeletal muscular system is to support soft tissues. So surrounding your abdominal wall, surrounding the floor of your pelvic cavity, your diaphragm, all of these different muscles help support some kind of soft tissue cavity inside of the body. So whether that's like your pelvic cavity, thoracic cavity, something like that, they're there to not only provide kind of that structure there, but they help support structurally the organs that are floating on the inside of your abdominal and thoracic cavity. So it's happening around your heart, your lungs, your stomach, your digestive tract, your mesenteries. Again, there are muscles that are linked there, skeletal muscles specifically, that helps provide rigidity around those different kinds of tissues, but again, additional support to keep the viscera where they need to be, okay, so that they are able to perform at their full function. Okay. The other function of your skeletal system in terms of the muscular system is that it guards entrances and exits to the body. So again, we're talking about sphincter muscles. So sphincters are unique muscles in that they are round in shape and they allow contraction and opening of a particular orifice. So around your mouth, anus, again, those are openings in your digestive tract. So what's happening with your bladder, that it's controlling things going into or out of. Okay, so essentially the idea here is that it's guarding against, keeping things closed to help keep the body from having outside invaders such as like bacteria or viruses or things into the body in a way that could potentially damage other things. Okay, so the last function of the skeletal system is actually to help maintain homeostasis, specifically helping to maintain body temperature. Okay. So when your body moves, right, when you're doing any kind of muscle contraction, you're utilizing ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and you're utilizing cellular respiration to make that happen. Okay. So because you're doing that, you're actually generating heat. And so every time your body moves a skeletal muscle, you generate a small amount of heat that helps maintain your internal body temperature. Okay. So by generating that heat, you're able to keep the body warm. Okay. So there's instances where your body has mechanisms that allow it to do certain things to help it function a particular way, to help protect you from getting too cold. So if you shiver, that's actually a mechanism that your body has built in to allow your body to actually recover from low temperature, right? To actually warm it up so that you don't get hypothermia. Okay. So those are the big functions of the skeletal muscular system. In the next video, what we're going to be talking about is more specifics of the structure of the skeletal muscular system, not on like kind of a broad view, but on like a microscopic view. Okay. All right. So if you have questions, let me know.